Genji is a flanking dive DPS, an opportunist, and a medium-range brawler. He is a projectile hero, meaning his shurikens have travel time, which must be accounted for when aiming. My name's Reason, and I'll guide you through the playstyles and tech for Genji. The first thing you need to know about Genji are his basic kill combos and tech. This is your bread and butter, your color palette on the canvas of being a killing machine. With each learned, you will start to recognize more opportunities to frag. So let's start with the fastest, the dash fan buffer. When an enemy is exactly at your dash distance, aim at their head and dash into them. During the dash animation, hold the right mouse button to buff your fan and, if necessary, finish with the melee. This will cause your shurikens to fire so fast that the game won't render the animation, but you will deal 248 damage instantly, 50 for the dash, 168 for each shuriken headshot, and 30 for the melee. You'll need to practice to get a good feel for Genji's dash distance to pull this off effectively. Note that there is an internal cooldown, so if you fan before dashing, you won't be able to buffer in time to pull this combo off. It's also worth mentioning that meleeing is not necessary against squishy targets like Ana here. You already deal 218 damage with it. But it is nice to have that extra 30 in case anything goes wrong. If you do choose to melee, you will have to wait for the animation before you can dash out. So if you're confident in your aim, and you really want that ghost dash early, you can forego the melee to get out more quickly. Alternatively, you can dash into the ground to combo close targets, but you will need to have very good timing with this as your view is locked during the dash animation. So you'll only have about 80 milliseconds to flick up on the target if you choose to buffer your shurikens. In this example, I chose to just wait a little bit to acquire target before firing. This buffer fan combo is highly effective against Anas, Widows, Ashes, and Soldiers for example, low health heroes who move slowly and or tunnel vision. You can also do this into the enemy Rhine since he'll often be too pressured to drop a shield and swing at you. Okay, enough on that. Your next combo, the standard engagement combo, is the combo you will likely use most often in your games. It's the fan, deflect, and dash into the enemy's feet, followed by a fan if necessary, and optionally finishing with melee. If for whatever reason you do not have your dash available, you can use Wallclimb to cancel your deflect early, since at higher ranks, some players will just wait out your deflect and kill you the moment it goes down. Your triple headshot dash combo is a much safer technique since you can guarantee a kill before you commit to your dash. To execute, land 3 headshots with your primary fire and finish the kill with a dash. It's that easy. Okay, so ghost dashing. Ghost dashing is using swift strike the moment you get the reset from a kill. And while you may often see it in Dragon Blade highlights, it's ultimately a flashy play that can easily get you killed if you haven't perfectly pre-planned your dash target. However, ghost dashing is highly effective getting you out after an opportunistic kill, such as with the triple headshot dash combo. Now let's talk playstyles for Genji. During poke phase, Genji's job is to be a tactician. You want to build blade and attempt to open up opportunities for dives. So deflecting fire strikes and taking flank angles to poke at the enemy tanks is best for all charge, while poking at neglected enemy squishies is best for creating those dive conditions. This brings me to the brawling side of Genji, the opportunistic Genji, where you can let your mechanical abilities shine when you see an opportunity to use one of the kill combos we talked about earlier. It's very important when brawling with Genji to consider your escape options before going in. If you use your dash to engage, you must either get the kill to dash reset out or else have some other tactic such as a Wallclimb or deflect to escape safely. If you run Genji in a dive composition such as with Winston D.Va or the Hammond, you can very quickly shred squishies just by jumping on them. This is called a coordinated dive. When a target is called, dash into them with your tanks, and off of cooldowns alone they can be brought to within an inch of their life. So Genji's dash does 50, his melee 30, Winston's jump 45 and his melee 30, which gives you 155 damage, just with the two of you. Meaning, just with Winston's Tesla cannon, if you jump on his Zenyatta for example, they die in 3/4 of a second. And if you have a D.Va diving with you, they die off cooldowns alone. Dragon Blade is Genji's ultimate ability, and one of his most difficult aspects to master. Getting a successful Dragon Blade with Genji all comes down to pre-planning and identifying threats before your ult, and eliminating them first when you commit. If you have a Nano Blade, communicate with your Ana beforehand, and when everyone is ready, dash into the air to make yourself an easier target to hit for Nano and Bubble, since there is aim lock with these abilities. This also gives you a good view of the enemy team, and allows you to keep moving while locked in the activation animation, forcing the enemy to aim against the vertical distortion inherent in Overwatch. Next, go after any targets with a stun or one-shot capability that haven't already had their cooldowns or sightlines cut before the blade. Deflect or dodge those flashbangs and sleep darts. If you're nanobladed, you can animation cancel your sword swings with a dash for instant kills. But since it is very difficult to line up a target to dash through to the next, you'll likely end up using the dash swipe, especially with dry blades. In its most basic form, this means dashing to the target, swiping while double jumping over the target, swiping their back, and using the reset to dash into the next target. If you can afford it, dashing immediately after a swipe will animation cancel in a free 50 damage, allowing you to kill more quickly. You can use this combo to snowball into more kills than you otherwise would have during your precious 6 seconds of blade time. Make sure you ult track and consider what the enemy has before using your Dragon Blade. They may solo shatter, grab, beat, or trans your blade since it is one of the most dangerous and expensive ults in the game. You also want to, as much as possible, have your teammates go in with you at the same time. A 1v6 is a lot harder than a 6v6 where one of your players just happens to be a nano boosted cyber ninja. Okay, so I'll finish off with some situational but pretty useful techniques. Double climb. So normally once Genji has started a wall climb, he'll not be able to climb again until he touches the ground. However, if you're near the top edge of a wall, you can wall climb a second time up to the top. You can use this to increase your mobility and escape options. You can increase the range at which you can effectively use your hs-shurikan attack by aiming to the side of the head. The distance at which this becomes necessary is dependent on the hitbox size of the target. It's especially effective against tracers and pilot divas since they have a very small health pool. You can therefore kill them instantly with only 2 headshot shurikens and a dash. My final tip for you is that you can deflect many ultimates, including Bastion's tank shells, Bob's primary fire, Hanzo's Dragon Strike, High Noon, Blizzard, Far's Barrage, Death Blossom, Whole Hog, Tack Visor, Torbjorn's Molten Load, Tracer's Pulse Bomb, and even Zarya's Graviton Surge. And you can of course block melee attacks even if they're not reflectable, such as with Winston's Primal Rage, or an opposing Genji Dragon Blade. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to hire me as a private coach, it's $20 per session. Just message me on Discord. My name is Reason, and we'll catch you in the next guide.